Welcome to Pet Pals, the show that features the animals of Frederick County. I'm Sean Snyder, filling in for Dee Dee this week, and with me is Randy, our typical animal wrangler. On Randy's lap is Luna. She's our first cat of the day. Luna, at this point in time, is our longest shelter resident, and I should clarify by shelter resident. She's been with us for 205 days, and she has spent a considerable amount of time in our foster care program. You may say, well, why'd she spend time in the foster care program? When Luna arrived, she weighed almost 20 pounds, 19.6 pounds. Our veterinarian thought she was morbidly obese, and she was in fairly bad condition. She had a bacterial infection of her skin, and we thought she would benefit, obviously, from going into a home. Here at the shelter, we do house cats in cages, and their mobility is somewhat limited. So obviously in a home, she could get better exercise. Her diet could be monitored a lot more closely. So now after about 6 months, she's returned to the shelter, and she has lost 4 pounds, which is pretty good if you take that as a percentage of about 20 pounds. She lost a considerable amount of weight. We're still trying to slim her down some, and what we've done to help her with that is the shelter has what we call a kitty cabana, and it's a free roam cat room, and you may have seen it on this show at some points. And she is currently in there living with 3 other cats. So Luna, our goals for her is obviously to put her in a home with a family that will make sure her diet stays consistent, that she's not putting on too much weight. In the kitty cabana, she's been getting along with the cats in there, so if you have another cat, that's something that may keep her a little more active. And we hope that she can keep her weight off and live a healthy life. She is only 6 years old, so she has quite a few more years to go. She's obviously a domestic short hair, and her true cat color is torty with white. Once again, her name's Luna. Her intake number here is 133332. If you're interested, stop in and check her out. Our next cat is Couscous. Couscous has been with us for quite a while too. Randy commented, and he also commented on her size. She's a larger girl. She's been with us since April 30th, so for about 4 months. She weighs in at about almost 16 pounds, so she would benefit from a diet as well. One good thing about the shelter here is animals that are on our adoption floor, we have no time limits. They're welcome to stay on our adoption floor until they're adopted. Cats at times, probably adult cats, have an average stay of around 3 to 4 months, whereas dogs tend to stay around 2 weeks, which there are some qualifiers for that, I should say. You know, obviously certain breeds such as pit bulls tend to stay longer, and then dogs that are older tend to stay a little bit longer. Couscous came to us. Her owner actually turned her in, and what her owner indicated was that they couldn't afford to care for her. And one of our goals is to help people keep their pets, and we may not have programs to do that for them, but there are all kinds of programs in the county that help people keep their pets. For example, one program we do have here is a pet food bank. If you're having a hard time feeding your pet, we're more than happy to help you with food so you can continue to feed your pet. The Humane Society, which is located on Highland Avenue behind the fairgrounds, has a similar program. The Humane Society of Frederick County also just introduced a program called the Shacklin Fund for seniors. And what that does is it gives you a $100 credit per year to get your animal up to date on rabies, distemper, the office visits included, feline leukemia vaccination. So that's for seniors. So there's all kinds of resources out there for people so they don't have to turn their pet into the shelter. One of the most important calls you can make to your pet is to our shelter, and we can tell you where these programs are, and hopefully you can keep your pet in your house as opposed to have to turn it in. Couscous is about 2 years old. She actually has a birthday on January 5th, which is about 3 months away. And our goal obviously is that she'll be in a home by her birthday. So hopefully someone out in the audience can help us make that goal. If you want to come in and visit with her, she's currently on our adoption floor. Beautiful gray color. She's one of a couple gray cats that we have right now. And all you need to do is ask to visit with Couscous. Our next cat is Oliver, and for all the folks out there who like longer hair cats, Oliver is what's considered a domestic medium hair. At times people think longer hair cats are harder to care for. You know, typically when they're younger, they take care of themselves, so they don't necessarily require any more maintenance from you. As cats get older or they put on more weight, they can require a little more brushing because they have a harder time reaching places. But for the most part, people who like long hair cats, that's something they're willing to endure. Oliver here came to the shelter on July 19th. He was 1 year old on March 20th, so he's about 1.5 years old. He's a young cat. He's current on his rabies, it looks like, and then we obviously treat animals. We give them preventatives for worms, and we give them a general flea and tick preventative and things like that while they stay with us. Oliver was turned in by his owner, and the reason he was turned in is a common reason for cats. I can't say it's the most common reason, but it is a reason. The person who turned him in indicated that they were pregnant and that they can't change litter boxes. That is something a lot of doctors might recommend to someone who becomes pregnant. That is something that you have to take into account. From what I know is that if you've been around cats all your life, you've been exposed to toxoplasmosis, and that it's something you have a tolerance to. But at the same time, I am obviously not a doctor, and if you do become pregnant, you should contact your doctor and talk about the risks. Oliver's previous owner indicated that he shared a home with a dog and that he got along fine with the dog. So a lot of times people look for cats that will get along with dogs. They also indicated that he got along with other cats, but they didn't have cats, so I'm not sure what their point of reference is there. And then he's also been around kids of all ages. So some cats are more shy around really young kids that can be bouncy, extremely loud, and those kinds of things. But they did indicate that he was fine around kids. It looks like they did own Oliver his entire life, so Oliver will be looking for his second home. Obviously, for every animal that we adopt out, our goal is not to see them again unless for some reason they visit. At times, animals are returned. So, you know, if you're considering adopting, please do all the research or look at all the information we have about an animal. The first thing most people get caught up in is a cute face. And what people need to find out is the rest of the story before they commit to an animal for the rest of that animal's life. If you're interested in Oliver, stop by. He'd be more than happy to meet with you, sit in your lap. You can see he's pretty comfortable on Randy's lap, and he's available for adoption here at the shelter. All right, our next cat's Buddy. He's the classic black and white, some people call tuxedo. He's been with us since it looks like July 27th. He's almost a year old. September 16th is his birthday. And it's kind of neat when we have birthdays for animals. A lot of times animals come in, we have no idea how old they are. Their previous owner might not. They may have a close proximity, but they don't know their birthday. So obviously strays that come in, we age them by their teeth. But Buddy, we have his birthday, so he'll be celebrating here in a few days a one-year-old birthday. Buddy came to us as a previously owned cat, so he was owned by someone who decided they couldn't keep him anymore. It looks like he wants to play a little bit with Randy. He's an active cat, and that's what his previous owner said was the reason they were giving him up. So younger cats obviously have higher levels of play. He did live with young children, and that may be some of the reason that Buddy obviously came into the shelter, that he didn't know how to disengage play with the young children. He shared his house with a dog, and they said that he did great with the dog. Sometimes cats can have different levels, thresholds of how much interaction they want with people. So some cats we color code them based on that interaction. Blue cats are more mellow. Orange cats are what we consider average. And then cats that are color-coded green, which Buddy is, are cats that would do best in a home that maybe with no kids and are a little more aloof and not quite as interaction oriented. That's Buddy. If you're interested in visiting with Buddy, stop by the shelter and we'll be happy to get him out for you.
Sorry about that.
That's all right, yeah. Our next cat, or should I say kitten, is Leo. He's about 3 months old. Leo is a product of our wonderful foster care program. Each year in early spring, or I should say mid-spring to summer, through the fall, kittens come in. I mean, we take in a lot of cats, mother cats with kittens throughout the summer months. And Leo was one of those litters that came in. And instead of keeping kittens here when they're really young and their immune system's developing, and we have all kinds of cats of unknown vaccination history, we try and protect them by putting them in someone's home. So, and then they come back and they're more sturdy because they're a little older, and they're available for adoption. So Leo is one of the products. He is the only kitten left out of his litter. So all his siblings have been adopted. Kitten adoption fee, just like cat adoption fee here at the shelters, $97.50. It does include neutering him. A lot of people are surprised we neuter or spay kittens so young. American Veterinary Medical Association obviously has approved this, and all the vets who do spay neuter for us have been trained in pediatric spaying and neutering. So any animal you adopt from us will be spayed or neutered before you take it home. That adoption fee also includes a microchip. Should he become a stray, we'll be able, and come into our shelter, we'll be able to trace him back here, back to you, hopefully. You can see Leo is a typical kitten. He likes to play with stuff. He likes to bat. Guaranteed he's going to want to run around at 2 a.m. That's what kittens do. That's what you get with the cuteness. If you're not looking for that playfulness, then maybe you should consider an adult. This point in time, our kitten population is actually starting to wane. So if you've been wanting a kitten, you've been putting it off, now is a good time to come in. We still do have some young kittens around 3 months available for adoption. Leo is one of them, and they'll make a great pet if that's what you're looking for in a new feline friend. All right, we're going to take a short break, and after that break, we'll have some dogs for you to take a look at.
Get out and be active. The Frederick County Division of Parks and Recreation offers a variety of recreational opportunities for citizens of all ages and ability. Experience the fun and excitement by visiting our special events, participating in youth activities such as youth sports, cooking classes, or camps, or get in shape by attending one of our many fitness classes, martial art classes, or dance classes. Whatever you're looking for, we are sure to have it. The Frederick County Division of Parks and Recreation, where Frederick County comes to play.
If you're looking for an incredible experience, meet a shelter pet and adopt. They make super pets who will enrich your life and steal your heart. Adopt and bring home a shelter pet today. To find out more, visit theshelterpetproject.org.
Welcome back. Our first dog is a real cutie. The name, however, I will admit we chose. We named him Goober. And I think we probably named him Goober because he is a young dog. He's a bit clumsy, and he is probably what you would consider a goober. So he was aptly named here. Obviously, you don't like the name? He'd be more than happy to change his name. So if you're interested in adopting, you end up adopting, he could be called anything. He came to us and we named him because he was a stray. We aged him at about 6 to 7 months, and that's by his teeth and what teeth he has and how clean they are. And he was actually found up in the watershed, Catoctin State Park by the falls. So if I had to guess, someone was up there hiking, took their young dog hiking and thought maybe they'd let him off the leash and he'd come back, and somehow they all got separated. And for some reason or another, they never reclaimed him. He's been with us since the 20th of August. So we hold strays for 5 days. and then we make them available for adoption. So he's on our adoption floor. He will go through what we call our puppy process. Puppies, we take up to 4 applications, and we choose who's the best fit as opposed to first come, first serve. Obviously, we're looking for certain things in our puppy adopters to ensure they have the time for a puppy. Goober did go on a field trip the other night. You know, we try and take these animals out in the community for exposure, and he visited Yellow Springs Vet for a retriever event they were having, and his handler said he did perfect. I should say, I didn't mention this, we do have him down as a Chesapeake Bay Retriever mix. So if you're interested in Goober, taking on a young dog, teaching him all the ropes, and making him a good canine citizen, stop by, ask to see him, and we'll be more than happy to take him out of his kennel and you'll be able to play with him.
He's not mouthy either.
Yeah. Oh. All right, our next dog is Ricky. And once again, we gave him that name. He came to us as a stray. He actually came with his sister, who we named Lucy. So for those of you who I Love Lucy fans, they were named after Ricky and Lucy. Lucy has been adopted. So when animals come in together, we assess them for if they're bonded or not. Last week you saw Izzy and Gracie, the hound and the shepherd mix, and we've determined they're bonded and that they need each other for a good mental well-being. Ricky and Lucy, both young, they're about a year old. We determined that they can move on without each other and they'll live a fine, normal life. So Lucy was adopted. Ricky's still here waiting for a home. Ricky is a Pit Bull Terrier mix, and right away a lot of people put the brakes on and say, oh, I don't want a Pit Bull. And you know, what you need to know is every dog that's put on our adoption floor, we behavior assess them. They're put through a process to ensure that they are pets, that they're not dangerous to society, that they're not going to show aggression toward people or other animals or those kinds of things. Now, I do have to say that that assessment is a snapshot in time, and what a dog becomes is what an owner makes it at the same time. But when they leave here, they're pets, and that's what we're looking to place into people's homes. As you can see, Ricky is very fine with Randy handling him. You may have he sat on cue for a treat. Ricky is a young, athletic dog, so he will need a family that's willing to work with that type of stuff. Very obedient. He'll need consistent training. He'll need a family that can exercise him. Pits are notoriously very energetic dogs when they're young, kind of like Labrador Retrievers. They are physically fit, so you need to be physically fit or a family that can keep up with that. I've known several people who have been runners or joggers who've adopted pits, and they've made excellent companions for their running trips, those kinds of things. Best thing someone can do when they adopt a pit bull is make them the best canine citizen possible. So in the future, people won't look at pit bulls as dangerous, or they won't look at them as, I don't want that dog, and we'll have maybe less breed restrictions based on that. Every generation has a breed. It's been German Shepherds at certain times. It's been Rottweilers. It's been Doberman Pitchers. And at this point, unfortunately, the Pit Bulls are getting that short end of the straw. And inevitably, you've heard this before, a dog is what you make them. So if you're considering Ricky, you want a dog that is willing to learn, a dog that's willing to exercise from you, Ricky might be the perfect choice for you. All right, our next dog is Esther. She's obviously a beagle. She's about 8 to 10 years old, and we aged her because she came to us as a stray. So that could go a little bit one way or the other, and we did name her Esther. So, you know, when animals come in, they're strays. Instead of just calling them by a number, we want to give them a little personality. So based on her age, and we'll probably have some of her characteristics, one of our kennel staff thought Esther would be appropriate. You can see she's totally comfortable and fine with Randy. Randy actually had to jockey for position in the seat. So this is a dog that's probably lived in a home most of her life, not used for hunting, is used to being on furniture, those kinds of things. So older animals at the shelter, we realize they're a little harder to adopt. So we incentivize older animals adoptions. Because Esther is aged at between 8 or 10, she receives the highest tier of discount, which is $40 off her adoption fee. So her adoption fee would be $52.50. And it looks like we had her spayed at a local veterinary clinic because of her age. She probably needed some pre-blood work, so she's spayed, and we had that done. She'll obviously be microchipped because she's proven to stray once, and she would likely maybe stray again. Beagles are notorious for putting their nose to the ground and then following a scent, looking up, and then having no idea where they're at, or someone gobbles them up and puts them in a car and brings them to animal control. She was found and brought in by a citizen in New Windsor off of Route 31, which New Windsor's a distance from here. And something that's a little hard for the people that work here is the disconnect of people of coming to the shelter to look for their lost pets. And I think the farther you get away from the shelter, whether it's Mount Airy, New Windsor, or Sebillsville, people don't realize to come here and look for their lost animal. This shelter, Frederick County Animal Control, is the only shelter in the county, and we take all strays in. So if you lose your pet, first look for that pet. You don't find your pet, you need to fill out a lost report with our agency so we can help you find your pet or get your pet back to you. Esther being 8 or 10, maybe her owner thought that she wandered off and obviously something happened they don't want to know, or her being older thought maybe she passed. I will say she's in fairly good shape though for an 8 to 10-year-old dog. So please help us get animals back to their owners by sharing that information. Encourage people to fill out lost reports with us. Dogs, about 72–75% are returned to their owner. So if they come in as a stray, we have about a 72–75% return rate. Cats, the numbers are very sad. Less than 1% of cats that come to us as strays are returned to their owner. So we don't know if people don't care, they don't want them back, or they just don't know. But what we want to do is put animals back with their owners. You want to stop in and see Esther? She'd be more than happy to have a visit from you. Meet Peppermint Patty. She's our next dog, and she is a 5 to 6 month old Plott Hound mix. Obviously in the hound dog family. Her coloring is considered brindle, and there are a few dogs that have that coloring in their profile. Plott Hound's one, Boxer's another, Great Danes, Pit Bulls have it in their profile, and there are a few other dogs. She came to us as a stray. So once again, you can kind of see a theme with the show. We have several dogs that have come to us as a stray and weren't reclaimed. Like I said before, we've aged her at 5 to 6, so she would benefit from some training. She'd benefit from regular exercise. She'd benefit, you can see she wants to play now. I'm not sure with what, but she's playing with her squeaky toy. She would benefit with continued socialization. And what I mean is, there's been studies that show that dogs have a window of about 7 months where they need to be socialized. They need to be exposed to tall people, short people, people with glasses, people with hats, different animals, so that they're well-rounded dogs. And when they experience a new situation as an adult dog, they're less likely to be fearful of it. So she still has her socialization window open, if you will. So she would benefit greatly from rides in the cars, trips to the parks, just different things to make her a well-rounded dog. Her being a puppy, obviously she goes through what we consider our puppy process. We'll accept up to 4 applications, and then we choose who's the best family. Her adoption fee is $150, and that will include spaying her. She came to us not spayed. We'll microchip her. We give her a distemper. We give you a coupon for your first vet visit and a rabies vaccination and Frederick County license as well. She was picked up, it looks like, in Braddock Heights somewhere. So, and she's only been with us since the 21st of August, so for 9 days. So the dog looks familiar to you. You know this dog. You can still reclaim her if you know the person. Obviously, we want, like I said with our last dog, dogs to go back with their original families. So if you think you have love, obviously, and some time for Peppermint Patty, she would love to come into your home, meet your family, and be a part of your family. All right, our last guest is a real cutie. Everyone can go, oh, right now. Her name is Chocolate Chip, and she's aptly named that because she's the only brown or dark-colored puppy out of the litter. There is a total of 5 puppies, and they're all named after sugary treats. And Chocolate Chip is one of those puppies that's available for adoption. She was born on June 15th of this year, so she's about 2 months old, and she is a Pit Bull Terrier mix. And once again, some of those people that just went, oh, are now saying, oh, she's a Pit Bull. We do have a hard time, believe it or not, adopting out Pit Bull puppies. It's probably the most common type of puppy that we get. So, but what the cool thing about her is, she's going to be a lot of work, and that's not the cool part, but she is basically a ball of clay that you can mold into whatever you want to. She has very little experience, doesn't really know much now, so she is what her owner will make her. How she came to us, she was essentially an unwanted litter. So someone in the county here owns a dog that obviously got pregnant and had a litter, and they brought the puppies to us. I need to say that doesn't have to happen. There are enough programs in the county that if you're not able to take your pet to the vet to have them spayed or neutered, that these programs help you get your animal spayed or neutered. And the cost ranges from absolutely free to maybe $40, $50. So once again, we're here to help you with information. We may not offer that service, but we know where the places are that you can have the things done relatively inexpensive. So if you're in that position at this point in time, whether it's an animal that needs to be spayed or neutered or needs a current vaccination, we're here to help you with that information. So please don't hesitate to call us and find that information from us. Chocolate Chip is excited to get into a home. They've actually, her litter's been on the adoption floor now for 3 days, and at this point, none of them have any application. So you pretty much have, as they say, pick of the litter if you're interested in a puppy. Once again, she will go through our puppy process where we'll take 4 applicants, and we are open 6 days a week for people to view the animals. So if you're interested in a cute little puppy such as Chocolate Chip, we're here to help you make that dream come true. Stop by and take a look at her siblings, or any of the animals that have been featured today on Pet Pals.
She's going to have a small head too. She's going to be big.
Randy feels she's going to have a small head on her. So, you know, some people look for that in their dogs, or if it's going to be, some pits have larger blockheads like Ricky did. Thanks for watching this week's Pet Pals. We're glad you were able to sit in with us. We're aired every day at 6 a.m., 6 p.m. on FCG-TV, channel 19, or you can always watch us on your computer at the website below.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy. Oh, and she even talks to it. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
Before, addiction and depression kept me from living my life. And now, every step I take in recovery benefits everyone. There are many options that make the road to recovery more accessible. It begins with the first step. Join the Voices for Recovery. For information and treatment referral for you or someone you love, call 1-800-662-HELP. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Are you looking for that perfect spot for your child's next birthday party? Look no farther. Frederick County Parks and Recreation can fulfill all your birthday party needs. Choose from any of our rec center locations. Your party rental includes tables, chairs, paper products, on-site facility supervisor, and much more. Pricing for our parties is $120 for 2 hours in our rec room, or $170 for 2 hours in our rec room and gymnasium. For more information and availability, call 301-600-2936 or visit us on the web at www.recreator.com.